Welcome to FAQ Friday. I'm Brenda Gutierrez, and with me is Jason Tiller. Hi, Jason.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you, Jason. Jason is our Saline County Health Department Health Director and Health Officer, and we're glad to have you back on FAQ Friday.
I'm glad to be here.
We're hearing lots of questions this week about masking. What's going on with Saline County and masking?
All right, so there are two different things that we want to kind of talk about here so that people understand what has been going on and what's going on. So first of all, in relation to the mask mandate, there are a couple things there that people need to keep in mind. So one of those is that the city of Salina back in November passed a mask ordinance requiring masks indoors and in public places, et cetera. Additionally, the county also passed a mask resolution that mirrored the city of Salina's mask ordinance and also required masks in public places, et cetera. The thing to keep in mind is that both of those things were passed by the governing bodies of the city and the county, respectively. Which also means that any changes that are made to those, whether it is a lessening of any restrictions, removal, et cetera, has to come from those governing bodies relating to their particular rules that they've passed. Now, the other piece of rules that are out there or that people refer to is the mass gathering or the public health order. So that's where I want people to understand that these two things are completely separate. The mask order is one thing with the city and the county, and then the public health order, which relates to mass gathering, is a document issued by the health officer, myself. And that relates to the limit of people in certain establishments, how many people can be in a gathering, at what time bars close, and those types of things. That order, like I said, was issued by myself as the health officer, and therefore it can either expire based on the expiration date that is written into the order, be amended by myself, or at the or the county commission can take some action to amend the order if they so choose. So when people are talking about what their requirements are in the county, they need to make sure that they are talking about the right documents and then also where those authorities lie in changing those documents.
Well, and we know that people pass through Saline County, because we are at the crossroads in the center of Kansas, and also with the bordering counties around us.
Yep.
So you've been sharing about what's going on with Salina and Saline County. What about kind of on the higher level, KDHE, the Kansas Department of Health and Environment, and also with the CDC?
Okay, so recently the CDC passed, or they put out some guidelines in relation to whether you're fully vaccinated and then not having to wear a mask or social distance with other people that are fully vaccinated. KDHE on Wednesday adapted similar guidelines to that says that basically in a private setting, if you are fully vaccinated and the people that you with are fully vaccinated, that you don't have to mask or social distance. However, people do need to keep in mind that in this county, however, we still have the masking regulations. So while that may be allowed in a private setting, such as in someone's home, it's certainly not allowed in a public setting at this time with the orders that are in place.
Oh. Well, that leads to our next question. Tell us about the vaccination campaign. How are the numbers going for Salina, for Saline County?
They are going absolutely wonderful. By the end of this week, we should have well over 9,600 people vaccinated. Next week, we're supposed to be vaccinating 1,100 as what we have been told we will be receiving. We have received a small allotment of the Johnson & Johnson, and we are targeting homeless and hard to reach initially with those or at-risk populations to ensure that they get vaccinated. Primarily, when we're looking at that group, it's how difficult is it to get them vaccinated with one, let alone get back for another dose, such as required for the Pfizer and Moderna. So the vaccine campaign is moving along really well. We are expecting, I think, to be in a pretty good position in the next few weeks to where we will have a significant portion of the phase 2 taken care of. But people also ask, what about phase 3? And so people do have to remember that we don't get to say when we're going to go to phase 3. Phase 3 is and will be announced by the state when we can all transition to that next phase.
And for folks that don't haven't scheduled yet for their vaccination, to find out the phase 1, the phase 2, or phase 3, it's important for a person to look that up. Is that right? Like I may think in one instance I'm phase 2, another instance I'm phase 3. Aren't you encouraging from your office people to take the initiative and find out where they're at and to get registered to get vaccinated?
Right. So we have published those definitions of what phase 1 and phase 2, based off what the state has provided as those definitions in several places, including social media. It's been in the twice a week or every 2 week updates for a few weeks there. It's on the website. And so if somebody is not sure at what phase they're in, then they need to check that out first. Some people may have changed a phase, meaning that they have taken a new job. Their status might have changed. They may have had a birthday and are now over 65 and eligible in phase 2. Yeah. And if for some reason after looking at those they still aren't sure, then they can reach out and we'll try and help them navigate that. Because certainly though, those phase definitions don't cover every single possibility. And then if they determine or if they think that they fall into one of those phases, then they need to go onto the vaccinatesalinecountyks.com and get registered.
But what are your thoughts about getting registered on more than one site?
And that's a great question. The main purpose is that we want to get as many people vaccinated as quickly as possible. So whether it's through our JCPenney site or it's through Dillon's, later on as additional vaccine providers come on, if it's through one of them, that's not really what is important. What's more important is they get vaccinated. And the other thing too is it's not really important about which one they get. It's just that they get vaccinated.
Yeah. So for folks to go out, we mentioned a couple of things now: the mask, the masking, and how to protect people. So if you're in your home, it's a little bit different than if you're in a mass gathering. Mm-hmm. And something else I think about seniors, the elderly. Folks that haven't been able to have guests, that haven't been able to get outside their residence in now nearly a year.
Right.
This could really make a difference for folks to wear their mask and get vaccinated so that we can help other people get out and about, enjoy the spring-like weather, even though it's kind of windy now and then, and maybe we'll get some rain, but really to help people get out and about to help our whole community.
Yeah, so if you look at it like this, the mask adds one layer of protection. Vaccination adds another significant layer of protection. So that means that if I come into contact with an elderly person who, for whatever reason, may not be able to be vaccinated right now because of a contraindication to the vaccine. Anyway, because I'm wearing a mask and I'm vaccinated, greatly reduces the chances that I could inadvertently pass the disease to them if I should for some reason have it. Vice versa, if they're wearing a mask and they're vaccinated, they should come into contact with somebody who is not vaccinated. That will greatly reduce the chances of them getting the disease, which will then allow a little bit more of that return to normalcy. And I think for many places too, when we consider long-term care facilities, also allow for some transition back to some semi-normal visitation, which is highly positive for their quality of life and just in that return to normalcy.
And I do want to confirm, when we're talking about the numbers, when we talk about approximately 20% of folks that are vaccinated, we're talking about adults. So
correct.
Confirm that.
Correct. So since the vaccines are not really aimed at adolescents, which the Pfizer can be for those 16 and over. However, primarily we are getting Moderna here, which is for 18 and over. So we're looking at the adult population. And as of right now, we're at about 20% of the adult population that lives and works in Saline County.
Yeah. Now, looking ahead with March, there's a lot of things that going on March and April. We've got a lot of sports still to finish up, some of the high school, college, junior high sports things that are going on. Thinking about St. Patrick's Day, March Madness, all these holidays. What is your recommendation with some of these things that are still going on, the social activities that come with spring?
Yep. So next week is kind of a double whammy. It is spring break for all the schools, and it's St. Patrick's Day on Wednesday. So for both of those, celebrate safely. If you're going to travel somewhere, just make sure that you are making all of your preparations in order to travel safely. If you can get vaccinated and you've got that opportunity, then get vaccinated. But certainly try to avoid any type of large mass gathering with significant number of unvaccinated people and those types of things, because it has been a long, hard fight for this community to get to where we are with such lower case numbers and hospitalizations that we don't want to see that lost because of some celebratory nature that was made, and caused an increase in cases later on.
Yeah, it's the effectiveness of masking, of hand washing. We want to break that chain.
Absolutely.
Our numbers continue to go down, so that is something to celebrate, to be optimistic about the hospital stays. Those things are going down, and all the things that we're doing that are put in place to continue to safeguard ourselves and those that we love around us. Well, and if folks are hungry for more information, if they want to know some of the data, if they want to know some of the resources, they can contact through Facebook, FAQ Friday. If they want to message through that, the questions, that's how we get the questions for our show for FAQ Friday. And then what are some other sources, Jason, that we have that people can learn more about for Saline and Saline County?
Right, so we have the twice-a-week VaxFacts and our Monday, Wednesday, and Friday press releases. I am on KSAL the first, third, and fourth Thursdays of the month, on KINA on Saturday mornings. Our website, like you said, our social media. There are multiple ways to get information, and if you are not finding what you're looking for in those realms, please reach out to us. And if you are not understanding what's in there and you need some clarification, that's what this FAQ Friday is for, so that we can try and make sure that the information is clear and people understand what's going on.
Well, we appreciate you being on our show again. Thank you for being part of FAQ Friday. And again, if people want to look up on the website, it's saline.org for in-depth information. And thank you, Jason, our Saline County Health Department Director and Health Officer, and have a great weekend.
All right, thank you, Brenda.